If you're anything like me, your photo setup for your reselling business is pretty bare bones. You're not using a fancy lighting kit, you don't have a light box, and so what I use are a couple different apps to help my pictures go from this to this. If you want to see how I do that, stay tuned.
Won't nobody love you the way they should. Won't nobody check up on you, make sure you're good. Won't nobody check those body buttons for your neck.
Hi everyone, my name is Becky Park and I'm a part-time reseller on Poshmark, Mercari, and eBay. And when I'm not reselling, I am a full-time high school choir teacher. I have been reselling now for about a year, almost 2 years. It'll be 2 years at the end of December. And by the way, before I forget, I am in my office at school and there is a fly like flying around, and I have tried to catch it for many minutes and it's a lost cause. So you will see me sometimes looking away at a random spot in the room, and that's because I'm looking at this fly, and if you see it flying in the background, that's what it is. Anyway, getting back to what we were talking about, I have been reselling for almost 2 years, and although I feel like I have done really well with it, especially for being part-time, I think in my 2 years I need to look again, but I've made over $20,000 on Poshmark alone, and in the past couple months I've gotten a little bit more serious on eBay and Mercari, so there is a lot of money to be made even if you are just going part-time. That being said, I didn't feel comfortable, and I haven't yet felt comfortable investing in things like a lighting kit or a light box or just some other things that I know a lot of other people have for their reselling business. And so I thought I would show you how, despite the fact that I don't have all the fancy tools and all of the gadgets that people could use, I am still able to get pretty professional looking pictures. So let's talk about some of the tools and apps that I use, and I will also take you through a video tutorial on how to use these different things. So first of all, let me say this. I am pretty busy. My high school choir teaching job keeps me really busy before and after school. I'm oftentimes at school for very long hours, and I also have 2 kids at home, so I don't have the luxury of time, and therefore I don't personally do things like flat lays or have a decorated backdrop for my pictures. It just doesn't fit with my lifestyle, especially doing like the flat lays, and I don't have a space in my house to have like a really fancy backdrop because the room that I take my pictures in is actually my kids' playroom, and like I said, they're really young, so if I have this fancy backdrop, they would find a way to rip it down or break it or just do different things. So for me and my lifestyle right now, what works for me is just a plain white background. Now, some people have said that a plain white background is actually what eBay prefers and that you are a little bit more favorable in their algorithm if you use a plain white background. I have not done any research into this, and I don't know if there's an ounce of truth to that, but what I'm going to be showing you today is how to create a nice clean white background for your pictures, even if the background isn't necessarily so crisp and white, or even if you have kind of some excess things on the side of your picture. Like I know when I take pictures of a maxi dress or just like a longer coat or something, sometimes like my bookshelf that's kind of off to the side of my picture taking area, you'll see my bookshelf, or you'll see like some of the clothes that are on the ground that still need to be inventoried, but I'll show you how to crop all that stuff out. So if you're looking how to improve your flat lay game, this is not your video. This is literally bare bones. Like you don't have a lot of stuff, you don't have a lot of time, you're just trying to power through some pictures so that you can get them listed. Then this video is for you. I hope to be investing in things like a light box and maybe even a lighting kit in the near future, but right now I just don't have the time to even research which items I would like to purchase. If you have any suggestions for a lighting kit or a light box, please leave them down in the comment section down below because I'd love to check them out. But I'm making do with what I have, and it's been working out pretty nicely. So first, to just provide some context, like I said, I take pictures in my kids' playroom on a bare piece of a wall. My wall at home, it does have some texture to it, and it's not white, it's like a lighter blue. And really, for the tips that I'm going to show you, you do need to have some sort of more like close to white background for it to work. And what I use is a command hook. I just stick it right on the wall, and I have a nice wooden hanger that I just found in my house. So I just hang my clothes on the hanger, and then I put the hanger on the command hook on the wall, and I take my pictures. I try to use natural lighting as much as possible, and the space that I take pictures in does have 2 skylights, which can be really nice but can also kind of make for some weird pictures. And I also have a window on the side so you get some light in from the side. It does limit when I'm able to take pictures. However, I have also heard from a lot of people who use ring lights that you do get some weird silhouettes of like the ring on your clothes, and so I don't know that using ring lights is necessarily a perfect fix either, but for me, I just try to use natural light as much as possible. Once I take the pictures, I have them on my phone and I use my iPhone to edit all of my pictures. I basically use 3 apps or functions that are on the iPhone. The first thing that I use is just my iPhone photo settings, and I find that the iPhone allows you to really adjust things well so that you don't need a lot of other apps or anything like that. Oftentimes I'm able to just use my iPhone phone settings and I'm good. So typically I will adjust the exposure, and this is especially helpful for your black clothing items. I know a lot of people hate taking pictures of black clothes because they feel like they're never able to really capture what the item looks like because the clothes are black and it's just harder to catch those little details in natural light. But what I do is I just up the exposure almost 100%, and then you're finally able to see all the nice details in your clothing. Another setting that I will use within my iPhone editing settings is within the color setting. There's something called cast, and sometimes what happens when you take a picture is the color that you capture in the picture isn't quite the color of the garment, and so sometimes you can adjust the color using that cast setting under color so that it matches more the actual picture of your shirt or your pants or whatever. So I will sometimes use that, but even with that I haven't had to use it very much lately. Now, one app I have downloaded and actually paid for, I think it was $1.99, maybe $2.99. It's called PicTapGo, and I had heard a lot of people recommend it and talk about it, including Jenna from The Empty Hanger, and she has a great video that I will link right here that teaches you how to actually put PicTapGo as part of like your iPhone photo editing settings, so it makes it so easy. You don't have to leave the photo settings in order to use PicTapGo, but sometimes I will use PicTapGo and I will use the daylight, I think that's what it's called, the daylight setting, or like the daylight filter, and it will automatically just kind of make it look like you took your picture with good daylight even if you didn't. So that's always a nice little feature as well, and I'll show you in the tutorial how I use that. Finally, the last app that I use pretty frequently, especially when I'm trying to get rid of just, you know, excess stuff that's on the side of the actual garment in the picture, is an app called Google Snapseed, and that is actually a free app, which is wonderful. And sometimes I will use Google Snapseed as well to get rid of the texture on the walls that, you know, you see in my pictures, or I'll use it to make my wall look whiter than it really is, because like I said, it's not really white, it's like this light blue, and sometimes depending on the lighting, the wall can actually come across pretty yellow, which is not awesome. So I will use something in Snapseed to just really whiten up that wall, which also helps contrast against the garment that I'm trying to take a picture of so that you can see the details and the color in it much better. So what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to show you a video that I took, like a screen video, is that what it's called? A screenshot video from my phone of me actually doing these things, and I'm going to do a voiceover over them so that I can explain what I'm doing as I'm doing them in those videos. So keep watching to see how I use those 3 tools to get my pictures from looking to at least more acceptable in my opinion. So here I'm taking a picture of this black down jacket, and you see on the bottom right there is a circle with 3 dots in it. If I press that, I've already programmed PicTapGo to be a part of my iPhone photo settings, so I'm going to press it. And earlier I had said that the filter I use is daylight, but it's actually called lights on, and you'll see when I press it, it automatically lightens up the picture so much, and you can adjust it so that it's not quite so bright, but especially on my black clothing, I really like to make it as bright as possible. So now I'm going to go into more of the iPhone phone settings, and I'm going to adjust the exposure so that the background is even more white and you're able to see even more of the details in that black jacket. And then you're going to see I went to my next picture, which is the back of the jacket. I'm going through the same steps. I'm just kind of going through a little bit faster now. And again, you see me press the light function, under which is the ability to adjust the exposure. So here's another example. This is a purple dress. It's on a dress form, and as you can see, there is quite a bit of clutter on either side of the dress. On the left side, there is a pile of some clothes, and on the right, there's an outlet as well as a steamer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how I use my iPhone photo settings as well as PicTapGo and an app called Google Snapseed in order to clean this picture up and make it look presentable for reselling. So I'm just in my iPhone photo edit settings, and I'm going to use PicTapGo, and like I said, I will actually link the video that Jenna from Empty Hanger made on how to do this, but I'm going to click the lights on filter, and you can see, like, as I adjust the severity of how hard I want to use this filter, it does adjust the color of the dress quite a bit, but I actually do think that with the filter on and on pretty high, it is kind of more close to the actual color of the dress. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into Google Snapseed, and this is where I'm going to use some tools to get rid of all of the clutter and brighten up the back of my picture and make it more white than like shadowy or kind of gray. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to click on tools, and there are a bunch of different tools that are offered within Google Snapseed. And the first tool that I used is something called Healing, and it has an icon of a band-aid, and what you do is you paint over the items that you don't want to show up in your picture, and now you can see they're magically gone. The problem is if you paint too close to the garment, sometimes it'll bleed out next to where the item is, which is no good. So you can click on that little arrow that points to the left on the bottom to get rid of, whatever it is that you did to kind of bleed over. But you can see now the steamer, the pile of clothes are all gone. Next tool I'm going to show you is Selective, and that was in that little like circle thing kind of in the middle left. And what you do is you place this little circle with the B for brighten, and you swipe to the right, and as you swipe you can see the outer circle filling up with like kind of that teal color, and then you keep swiping until that circle is complete, and you can place these little B's all over your picture, and what you can do is brighten up any area that is around that B. The great thing about this is you probably saw when I used the healing function that it kind of left that bottom left part looking a little bit gray and smudgy, so this helps clean that up. And once you are finished using your brighten tool, your selective tool, you can do it over and over again until you achieve the whiteness that you want, and now you can see how bright it is. Now I'm going to save a copy. I like to do that rather than just saving it because it allows you to go back and revert back to the original if you want. Finally, I'm going to show you how to use one more tool, and it's the brush tool. It's the one with like the brush icon. This allows you to do something similar to the selective brightening tool, but instead of placing little dots, you literally use your finger and you paint over the area that you want to whiten, and you can kind of see how I whitened up that gray area just by painting over it. This is especially useful for items that are maybe more white in color, and the brighten tool doesn't work very well with light colored items. So there you have it. I hope that was helpful. I know that this was a video that a lot of you have been requesting. If you have any more tips on how to take great pictures for your reselling business, please leave them down in the comment section down below so that we can all learn from each other. If you like this video and this kind of content, make sure that you hit the like button, make sure you're subscribed, and I hope to see you in the next video. Thank you so much, and I will talk to you soon. Bye!